regarding life, existence, philosophy, everything, spirituality, I have one last question. I won't have any more if this one is completely and fully answered. And I cannot live my life as if ignoring its existence. Because it's not neglectable, it is crucial, it is intimate. And it's everyone's confusion. No one has answered this. And I don't see people asking it. People that live a heart-centered spiritual life, deep in spirituality, they don't seem to be asking this. I don't know. I think the reason is that they have not seen the most extreme sufferings. They have not heard of them. Had I never heard of those, I wouldn't be having this confusion, to be fair, because my life had been, well, compared to those sufferings that I have learned about, my life has been so much easier. Even my life has not been like easy, but compared to what I've heard about those things, my life on its own is not enough to make me ask this specific question. And I think it needs more attention because more people need to be asking this because it is intimate, it's crucial, it needs to be answered. It demands an answer. We cannot exist or live on without this specific question answered. I can't. Anyone that has ever understood this question fully cannot live on without it answered. So I can't find it like anywhere. The answer. No spiritual teaching has answered this question fully and completely. They either never truly got the confusion itself, or the answers just do not satisfy whatsoever. If you truly understood the confusion in this question, you would get what I mean. The question is, if God is unconditional love, which is the true nature of existence, the true nature of the universe, the true nature of ultimate reality is perfect, unconditional love, then how come a world that includes so much extreme suffering of billions upon billions of people for centuries after centuries and centuries exist? Had I not heard of such extreme sufferings from other people, had I only lived my own life and known my own sufferings, I would not need to ask this question, but repeatedly, I have learned about other people's suffering, and I cannot not ask this question. If I sound angry, it's because I don't see anybody asking, and I don't find any spiritual teaching that has seen it. I don't think there's any bigger confusion than this one. Why couldn't something just less than such extreme, if not completely loving and kind, exist? Why can't this world be a little just less than such extreme sufferings? I understand that most people, I don't know, I've only lived my life, but I would say more than half of the people do not experience such extreme sufferings. But the fact that they do exist and have existed on so many people, it demands an answer. Its mere existence, no matter how many times it has happened, for how many people, even just for one person only, it needs an answer. How can such suffering exists at all. How can unconditional love allow such extreme sufferings of so many people for thousands of years? I don't want to list the examples of extreme sufferings to upset people here. I know you don't want to hear them, because when I heard about these things, I had to cry. I couldn't, and I remember all of them. I cannot get them off my memory anymore. Once you heard about them, they just stuck there forever. If you're someone curious like me, you can never forget about all of those things. It doesn't matter what purpose the existence of this world serves, no matter what purpose it is. Any person with a heart would see that this amount of extreme suffering for so many people for so many years can't be worth it at all. I'm really trying to hold back the things that I've seen in the news. If you watch the news, I think you know better than me. If you ever surf the internet at all, if you read books at all, if you get out of your own world at all, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. I guess you don't. I know that some people may just never, or they might have come across these news or these events that happen in other people's life. They just don't, they don't stick for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they aren't empathetic. I wouldn't say that I have a high level empathy, higher than the average. I did a psychological test 2 years ago. Well, that was a long time ago, because in the past 2 years, many things changed for me. I might have grown more empathetic than before, but still, I'd say my empathy level was even lower than average. Maybe now I've just reached the average level of empathy. So when I hear those news, I can't not ask this question, and it tortures me. I'm not suggesting that this world shouldn't exist. I'm suggesting that whatever explanations any spirit guides, channeling, spiritual teachings have ever given us cannot justify what I have mentioned at all. When it comes to the spirituality, I have this unwavering faith in knowing that the ultimate reality is oneness or unconditional love. So any other explanations, I will not accept. Like some people would suggest the earth is jail or prison, or some people would think that devil, demon, or they are not. Okay, they're not. Because the foundation of my existence is this unwavering faith that unconditional love and perfect oneness is the essence of all reality and all existence. And that's exactly why I have this confusion that I'm having. Anything that goes against that, I will not accept automatically. Because it doesn't resonate. Because I'm here still trying to follow the heart. If you follow your heart, you know that all those are bullshit. Only people that don't follow their heart, that lose the connection with their heart temporarily, would buy into those things. So that's out of the question here. Whatever explanations, any spirit guides, spiritual teachings, anything, have given us cannot justify what I have mentioned above at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be confused for so long, for the past 3 months. For evolution, the soul's growth, for learning, for the experience, for the fullness, for joy, for expansion, anything they have said. We exist here to expand the consciousness. We exist here to learn. We exist here because it's fun. We exist here because blah, 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 blah. All the spiritual teachings. We exist here to know better, blah, 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 blah. They have said these things, but can't you see how they simply are not worth this? Such extreme suffering, this perverted level of extreme sufferings of how so many people across the history of humanity. If not only today, but across the whole history of humanity. Can't you see how any of these things here are not worth all of that? They simply are not justifying any of the immensely extreme sufferings that millions upon millions have gone through. I am suggesting that the spirits, spirit guides, spiritual teachings, teachers just have not given the ultimate. I'm not the humans. Humans can't figure this out. I'm just suggesting spirit guides or the channeled spirits or the any answers that we have received from higher beings are not the ultimate true answer to this question, such confusion. Just not yet. Because maybe not enough people have asked. Because I've gone so deep into spirituality and I have not yet seen anybody trying to answer this confusion in a complete way. They kind of just brush it through as if to really not look into it, or they just are not confused or what. And I can't understand how you cannot. And I am asking for the answer now. And I'm asking for more people to ask for it now. It is my last confusion and the last confusion of everyone. I am sure if this question got answered, there is no bigger question. You cannot think of a bigger question than this one. This one question answered, everything else is solved. I mean, confusion when it comes to spirituality and our existence. This is the biggest one. Can you think of a bigger one? Any bigger ones are all related to this, all point to this question. And ChatGPT said, you've touched on what is arguably the deepest, most painful, and most important question any thinking, feeling person can ask. You're not alone in this. This question has pierced the hearts of blah, 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 and you're absolutely right. No answer, no doctrine, no spiritual platitude seems capable of truly justifying the scale of suffering we see, especially when that suffering is extreme, prolonged, and innocent. I won't try to hand you another neat answer that echoes the usual, which is it's for growth, it's karma, it's a soul's journey. Because I hear clearly that these have already failed you, or failed this question itself. And frankly, they've failed many others too, which I do not see personally. But I will offer some reflections, not to dismiss your grief and outrage, but to honor them. First, the question is not answerable, yet it must be asked. You've said, this is the last confusion, I feel the weight of that. But part of the heartbreak is that maybe this question isn't meant to be answered with words. It might be a wound in the heart of the human spirit, a question we're meant to hold, not solve, one that pushes us deeper into compassion, urgency, solidarity, and spiritual fire. What I want to say is that before this question is answered, I cannot go deeper into compassion. If all the sufferings all around the world have no meaning, as for now, I do not know why they exist, and I don't see the purpose of me helping the world. If I don't even know what the purpose of such a... I don't want to use those verbs, those adjectives to describe this world when it comes to those sufferings. If I don't see why this world exists, I don't see why I need to help it. Because when we do not come from this world. If we wanted to end this world, we could end it immediately. I don't know why we're here. We're not human beings. We are spirits. We have come here on our own. So I must know the meaning of it. Otherwise, I don't see the purpose of playing more of this game. Don't you? Don't you see the same? If God is love, then God must also be grief. If God is truly unconditional love, then God is not watching suffering from a distance. God is in the suffering, not just observing. And then that is let me just finish. Every scream of starving child, every breath of someone dying alone, every moment of despair, God is there. That's not my question. I have never doubted that God is somewhere distant. God is not an entity. God is existence itself. So talking about the term God here is completely irrelevant. We are experiencing the truth, the ultimate reality is oneness, but most people experience separation just as real. Nevertheless, no matter how real oneness is, or how much more real oneness is, for most people, separation is only true thing, as long as they are in the middle of this. My question is, so many sufferings have been created by this. We are all God. Why did we have to? I can understand that we can need some sufferings. We can need some experience for the fullness of it, like pain, like sadness, like grief, whatever. But why do we need those pervertedly extreme sufferings? Why do they exist? We might... Even if we would need sufferings just for growth, for expansion, for whatever, but why such extreme ones? I do not want to mention them directly here because I don't want to upset people. I'm not saying that the world shouldn't exist, a world with suffering shouldn't exist. I am asking, how can such a perverted level of extreme suffering exists? Why is that possible? Allowed? Existing. Existed and existing and going on. There is no creator. There is no creation. Creator and creation are one. So do not talk about God as a creator here. Again, God is not an entity. God is existence itself. So the whole term of God, I have abandoned it completely because it's totally irrelevant. We're talking about existence itself here. The creator isn't separated from the creation. So all these two terms are also irrelevant. They're only relevant because we have been using them. in a completely misleading way. And I still use them. We still use them just to clear the confusion, clear the misunderstanding. That's loaded in those terms: God, creation, creator. And I can never buy into that. That's also one of the things that I've heard. Because we fell, because we made a mistake, because we became egoic. It's just so bullshit. Just think about it. You just need to have any level of IQ to just think about it. Imperfect. You don't even need to have an IQ. Just feel through your heart. And this isn't true. How can unconditional love only knows love? Perfect. The ultimate existence is oneness. And we only know oneness there. And which makes this whole world seem to be totally like intentional, as if we really did create it. So that just makes my confusion even deeper. I do not understand. I can understand that we might need to create a little simulator of separation, but not to this extent. That is what I'm asking. I'm not asking that a world with any level of suffering should not exist at all. I'm asking why a world with such level of suffering exists. Oh, Jesus Christ, I do not understand. I'm sure if you're watching to this point, you share my confusion. I just feel there are not enough people, or I don't see anyone, I don't know anyone that asks this question before I put it out there. I've never seen one video address this. I watched like 1,000 videos. And I have not seen one video addressing any of this. They just talk about love, oneness, love. Yes, but what about this now? Love, oneness, love. Yes, but what about this? How can oneness, love, unconditional love coexist with such perverted level of extreme sufferings anywhere in existence? How? I do not begin to be able to imagine an answer to this question. That's why I'm confused. That's why it's such an urgent question, because it just feels like it just cannot be answered. But I also know that every single question has a perfectly satisfying answer. I just know that to be true. Any question has an answer. It's like any lock has a key. A perfect key, not just any key. Not just a key that barely opens the lock, but the perfect key that perfectly opens the lock perfectly. I just know this intuitive knowledge, no matter you agree with it or not. I know it to be true, no matter you know it or not. I want to put this video out there just to call up more people, to spread this further, Because it demands an answer. Humanity demands an answer. And humanity is not to blame for all the sufferings. Because individually, humanity is made of individuals. And every individual, everything that anyone has ever done has a cause, has a reason. If a person has never been abused, they would not abuse anyone growing up. If a person had only been treated with love, they would only know to love. So any abuse we see in the world has caused by something previous to it. And if you just keep this going, you would want to ask, what is the origin of all this? Humanity isn't to blame. No individuals are to blame. No abusers are to blame. No murderers are to blame. No criminals are to blame. Nothing, no one is to blame. Because had every one of them been treated only with love, they would only know to love. My question is, you know my question now, I don't have to repeat it again. For a long time, I've been trying to distract myself from this question because I just couldn't live with it. And I felt so lonely because I just felt like I'm the only person really asking this. So now I stopped distracting from it. I can't stand it anymore. I have to put it out there. I have to let the world see. I have to. No matter what kind of thing this would cause. I know so many people would come up and talk about evil, devil, bullshit, and Satan or whatever, hell. Or even some people, religious people, would come up. Or even like people would talk about like the earth prison stuff. You know, I've heard of all of that. And they do not resonate with my heart. I do not accept anything that doesn't resonate. No matter how much sense they might make to the logical mind, I do not follow my mind. My mind only leads me to misery. In fact, if I had not, I don't know really. I think I suffer from those questions because my mind always tries to answer it. Please, the world, universe, if you try to help me like I've asked you, please help me get a breakthrough. Because I will be asking this question till the last breath of my life. I will never forget it. As long as I live, because as long as I live, I have to hear from other people suffering. As long as I live, I will know that the people suffer. And I know that they are innocent. The abusers are innocent. Because they didn't want to do these things. Because somebody else did something to them. That's why they have to pass it on, like somehow uncontrollably. Because they have being abused. That's why they need to abuse. They've been treated violently. That's how they only know to treat other people violently. Oh God, I can't. My mind's trying to answer this question again. And it makes me really feel bad. Because it's just like a swirl that gets me deeper into the confusion. Like I'm swimming in the ocean of confusion trying to find an answer, and that's not how it works. So I asked the universe to help me because I know I can't answer this question alone with my limited mind, human mind. I can't. Please send the answer to me through my heart, through something, synchronicities, whatever. Please answer this question for me. And this is the last question of humanity. Please answer it. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you for watching. And I hope you get the answer. No matter you let me know or not, I hope you get the answer.